Hey, it's Lindsay from HeartSpeak Health, and this is episode 9 of the weekly speak. And it's just ironic because as I'm sitting here, which it's what, April 4th? It's April 4th, and I'm all bundled up because it's really windy out today and it's getting cold. But I've seen just about every kind of weather so far this morning. It was kind of warm and the sun came out and it was windy, and then it was raining and windy and cold, and now it's spitting ice, hail, I don't know. But really crazy weather. But the weather, just looking at the crazy weather, reminds me of how we can feel like that on the inside, which is what I'm going to be talking about today. I'm talking about depression and primary foods. So I'm doing my best to, let me take a sip of my tea chino here. Herbal, it's not coffee, it's like chicory root and dandelion. It's really good. Anyway, all herbal power, no caffeine. I'm trying to slim down my episodes and just focus on one or two things rather than doing an overview of everything. I find that that's kind of pointless. So the first post that I wanted to focus on was from exactly 1 week ago today. And it was actually a nod to IIN. If you don't know, I am an integrative nutrition health coach, and I graduated from the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, and I am an ambassador for the school. And so if you are interested in health coaching, you can contact me, and I would be happy to direct you toward tuition specials and special enrollment packages that are always happening. There's always something going on, and as an ambassador, I have the in on that. So don't hesitate to contact me if you're interested in the program. But what I said was, it's physical, it's mental, it's emotional, it's spiritual, it's nutritional, it's integrative. That's what integrative nutrition is. It's the consideration of every aspect of your life. And so a lot of times when we think about getting healthy, we think about food and we think about exercise, but we're not always thinking that maybe our relationships are bringing down our health, or lack of relationships, or maybe something that's going on within your career, or not feeling like you're fulfilling your purpose. Correlating that to your health doesn't always happen. And so as an IIN health coach, or as an integrative nutrition health coach, I try to help people look at those areas of your life because they can affect your health. And I'm not saying that the good food and the exercise isn't important, because it's very important. Your physical nutrition is critical, and having healthy movement in your life is critical. But a lot of times, the things that feed us the most and provide us with a lot of health-giving energy are not physical foods, and it's not exercise. It's maybe a hobby that makes you feel alive and makes you feel like yourself. Or maybe it's changing something within your job, or changing jobs, or getting out of a toxic relationship, or trying to implement more socializing because you don't really have any friends or have anyone to lean on. So creating a support system might be something that you need. And what we call these things, we call them primary foods. So that's a term that was coined by Joshua Rosenthal, who's the founder of IIN, and that's really a big focus in our education. So I bring this up because, again, this was one of the things I had talked about last week, and it's very critical to something like depression. I had also posted about depression specifically, and I said she doesn't need an antidepressant, she needs nourishment. So this was a separate post that I had put up as well on Instagram and Facebook. And this has all kind of come about, which most of the things that I talk about are inspired by people that I've worked with as clients, or, what I've discussed with other coaches, or just, what I have found in my own health journey and what I've discovered along the way. And one of the things that comes up continuously is that people will go to the doctor because they don't feel right. They aren't happy, they don't have energy, they're struggling with their sleep, they may have some physical symptoms going on, but emotionally, mentally, they just feel off and they feel that something is wrong. And typically the protocol is to give someone an antidepressant or an anti-anxiety medication. So if you're happy with that option and, that's fine with you, then that works, right? And that's you're comfortable with that. You take your pill and you move on with your life. And if it helps you and it improves your situation and you're fine with that, that's good. But there are people who are not happy with that, and they want to get to the root of why they feel the way they do. They want to figure out what's the root cause of me feeling this way. And that's what I did when I was having the symptoms that I was having, which was hypothyroidism. I didn't want to just come back in 6 months and most likely get on some type of a medication. I wanted to figure out, well, why do I feel like this? Because I was fine, and then I've morphed into feeling this way. So there has to be a reason why. And so I would say 99% of the time, if people start to look at the foundation of why they feel down and depressed and why they don't feel themselves, is because number one, they are malnourished in some way. I'm just looking at my post. So they're deficient in nutrition. They're not getting a proper amount of vitamins, minerals, essential fatty acids, protein, maybe even water, because dehydration can bring about some very serious issues with not only your physical health, but with your mental and emotional health. So your food, your nutrition, your physical nutrition, that greatly affects your mood and the way that you feel. Because you know how popular gut health is. The bacteria that's in your gut and the way that your body is assimilating nutrition, everything that's happening here in your core, that affects everything, because brain chemicals are made in your gut, like serotonin. So if you're not eating right and you're not getting proper nutrition, it's definitely going to affect your brain, and it's going to affect the way you feel. Okay? Number two is stress, which I'm writing a post on stress right now. But a lot of women especially stuff down their stress, and they don't talk about things. They just keep it to themselves, grab their coffee, grab their wine, move on. And after you do that for so long, you might crash. You might eventually get to a point where you can't keep doing that. And so speaking up to your spouse, your partner, your family member, at work, if you're having a lot of stress at work, speaking up, talking about what's bothering you, clearing the air, and getting things under control with your stress is critical as well. My phone went black. Okay, number 3, lacking love, intimacy, and genuine connection. This will affect you on every level, okay? When I was at the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, we talked about something called vitamin L, love. And when you're lacking love and when you're lacking connection, or if the relationships that you have, if you're not, utilizing them for all that they are and you're not nurturing them and you're not building a healthy connection with that person or with this person, it's going to affect you. We are creatures that need touch, we need support, and we need togetherness. And so that's very critical to how you're feeling. You have to examine that as well. The 4th is kind of losing yourself and not taking action to, maintain certain interests or hobbies. And that can also coincide with purpose, with career, okay? But, it's really amazing how nurturing something that you really love to do, just a little bit of kindling there, giving yourself a little bit of time to do something that you really love to do, it can make such a difference in how you feel about yourself and how you feel about your life. So if there's something that you used to do that you really enjoyed and you're not really doing it anymore, I would suggest trying to relight that and bring it back into your life. I know for me personally, I've always enjoyed writing, and I love writing blog posts, and I hope to write books. That's really what I'd like to do. I'd like to write books, and that's the one thing that I'd really like to focus on and keep doing what I can. I have a couple children and my husband, and we have a lot going on, but I try to give myself a little bit of time regularly to write because it makes me feel good. It's like a food. So maybe yours is singing, or maybe it's painting or creating something, woodworking, I don't know. But whatever it is, you need to make sure that you do it because it's a food and it feeds your soul. And that's really what it's all about. So if you are struggling with feeling down, and if this is especially the case if you're a woman, if you've recently had a baby, even if you have kids that are older, it can take years for you to recover from childbirth and breastfeeding and being pregnant. And so if you're feeling down, examine these areas. Look at what you're eating and look at your exercise, but also look at the other things I mentioned. The relationships, the connections that you have, your hobbies and interests, and make sure that you're feeling fulfilled or at least giving some effort to these other things as well. Okay? So if you would like to learn more about foods to eat, supplements to take, products that I have leaned on in my healing journey, you can go to heartspeakhealth.com and look at the menu, and you can click on free resources. I have a lot of things under there. And then, of course, I also have the blog where I write posts on different topics. And so you can check that out too. All right? And that's it for now. I hope you're having a great week after the holiday. I know it's kind of hard to get back into the groove. So I hope that you are, and I will be back next time with episode 10. All right, thanks. Take care. Bye-bye.